So this is Dan, and you are?
I'm Nick, folks.
Holy smokes, folks.
Holy smokes, folks. I love that. I forgot about that.
We are.
Together, we formed this team.
Oh, man.
It's not like anything else.
No, it's pretty unique.
We call ourselves
the Unpanders.
If you're a follower, you're an umper. So, welcome, umpers.
Yeah.
I think the number's growing by the month.
The one? Well, that's a number. The number is growing.
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
+1.
It's getting larger. You could bring it to a wedding at this point. It's a +1 joke, folks.
Yeah. +1. We kind of, we're old friends. We like to talk and share topics. And
I wrote down a summary.
A summary of what we do?
I wrote.
What do we do?
It's like we're a couple of ghosts from an 80s kids movie. We start off really crazy and scary, but then by the end, we kind of just fade away and realize what made us unhappy. That's pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah. That's why I poured myself another drink right there.
Yeah. Woo. Speaking of drinks, folks. 21
and older.
That's a disclaimer, and so is this. Hey, employer, can't sue me. Hey, employer, can't fire me. Hey, employer, can't not hire me. Did I get it right? Relative, you can't do anything either.
Yeah.
Celebrity, you can't sue me either, because this is for what, Dan?
Free speech.
I was going with entertainment
Second
purposes.
Amendment.
Second Amendment, folks, and entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, that's entertainment and educational purposes. We're chock full of useful information.
Education, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't disseminate this podcast either. No.
Yeah, no sharing.
Disseminate us.
Well, you can share it. You just can't use it as your own.
You can't disseminate it.
Yeah.
You disseminate so many times.
I think that's, disseminate. Disseminate.
Three things you can't disseminate, guys. The NFL, the Unpanders, and your ex-wife. All right, guys?
She's going to get you. 18 years, baby.
Disseminate on that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
You should have disseminated somewhere else.
I'm dying here, folks. Real quick tongue twister for you.
Oh.
So go with this
topical.
Say it with me, folks. The Dutch destroyer's disseminated degenerative crucial ligament is torn. The Eagles' season is over. You can just cut it in half. You can say Dutch destroyer disseminated degenerative crucial ligament.
I can't even say that ligament. You already got me on the tongue twister. Can't say the one word. Damn it!
Isn't that something? There you go.
Football. You're.
Yeah, that's the quarterback. That's the man with the plan. He's the
one with the passer rating that's like in the ridiculous numbers, right? 130 or something, third downs.
You're just talking passer rating. His heart rating is through the roof. And
how much of his leg did you see? It was like his legs just like flopping everywhere.
I mean, he got hit from both sides by guys who weighed like 300 pounds and can run like 4 O's, but he's been hit like that before. It's just one of those freak things, your ACL.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they clinched the division and they won, and now it's a weird feeling because, like, football's weird. Like, if you're going to win that year, I feel like they were going to win just based on the stupid intangibles. Yeah, the feel. Like, magical stuff's happening. Crazy things are going on. Not to mention, next year, your defensive coordinator is going to be a coach somewhere. Someone's going to take Jim Schwartz. You could lose 2 or 3 other free agents. Guys could get injured next year. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about who's healthy, who's hot. And you were healthy and hot. And now you're...
Who's the backup? They hired Kaepernick yet?
No, they didn't. Nick Foles. I know you know that name.
He sucks.
Nicky Foles. Nicky Sticks, baby.
They had him around for like 5 years, didn't they?
Yeah, he threw 22 touchdowns and like 2 interceptions one year. Something ridiculous. That was the best year of his life, but they're going to try and recreate magic. And they always do a sound drop at him. It's like, how's everybody doing? And he like talks like a real yokel type guy. I'm rooting for him. Nicky Sixx, folks. Super Bowl or bust. Pour myself some more of this. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, I remember a season where he didn't do so hot, and then he pretty much faded into non-existence, and then apparently he still exists.
He's a backup quarterback. I mean, backup QB's a job. How much those guys make? Like $14 million a year to hold a clipboard?
Man.
Shit. Cool. They don't have to get hurt. They don't have to get hit. There's no pressure on them. It's awesome. Pretty much hang out, drink coffee, hang with the team, tell jokes. I've been a great backup athlete. I tell jokes with the best of them. I've just been like, let's get him. Let's put whipped cream in his locker. I don't know. I say something real funny.
You've been scheming the entire time on the sidelines.
Yeah.
What can we do today? And he's not even focused on the game.
Right. And then one day they'd be like, hey, Nick, we need you to play. And I'd be like, I'm not here to play. I'm the funny guy. I'm the funny guy.
And there's a golden retriever behind you, and you're just like, oh, they mean that, Nick. And he runs out on the field and takes your spot.
And the other coach is screaming that this is illegal, and all the referees are getting together and being like, there's nothing in the rule book that says a dog can't play football. There isn't anything in the rule book.
I hope not. So you have any clarifications or corrections from last time? I did make bolognese, and I was wrong. There is no bologna in bolognese. I just want to clarify that because last time I was really confused.
I heard you, and I made bolognese, and it tasted awful.
Until you added bologna?
No, it tasted awful with the bologna. It was. 3 of my family members got sick. Thanks, Dad.
That's on you, I think.
Mm.
Your family's an entirety of 3 people, right? So everyone got sick.
Mm-hmm. Vomiting. It was terrible. I was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't eat it. So, I do want to make a quick correction. I said my bank ATM number was 7658. I wouldn't tell you guys my bank number. It's 6758. It's my mom's birthday. So, Mrs. Sussman, well, that's her maiden name. Now it's not, so no big deal. I guess I shouldn't tell you guys everything.
Yeah.
And some of the numbers are my soch. Hint, hint. That's all I'm going to say. Let's start with 209 and go from there. It's a little correction.
Where did you feed your meat? Where did you
feed my meat?
Where did you feed your meat?
Did I meet my mate?
Yeah.
Meet your mate.
I have no idea. Yeah. Where did you meet your mate for the first time? That's always the question I like to answer. And usually I get really serious about it, and then I say the couch.
Have you ever done one that's like you have to answer 2 or 3 security questions?
Yeah, and you get annoyed by it.
They give you like 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one time there was just one I had an answer for. It was like, where was your wife's whatever? And I was like, not married. And one was like, what was your first pet's? Where did you get your first pet or something? And I was like, well, I don't know. It was the woods. The woods? Can I write the woods? Like, do you know what I mean? It was like the weirdest. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. It was like, what was your 6th grade favorite teacher? And I was like, well, I don't know. This is stupid.
Yeah. Hate when they don't make it so it's definitive. Like, what is your youngest child's birthday? It's like, well, I could have more than 1 or 2.
This might come
changing.
Yeah. This might come back into effect later in the episode, but when I started taking out all my school loans for college,
mm-hmm.
and they would accept like a 5-letter password, like password, and they were like, this isn't good enough.
We know you're going to use that one.
So do you know what I did? I changed all my passwords to either one of 2 things for all my loans. You can log in right now and pay for me. I think I had to change them again, but it was always FU spelled out, FU1, because I had to have a number, and the other one was not paying one. I would always put not paying one for my password. It was really funny when I would be like locked out, and they'd be like, "What is your password?" So I'd be like, NOTPAYING, and they'd be like, "Not paying one." I'd be like, "Well, you said it, not me." Anyway,
I used to do that for all my questions where they let you type it in. Mm-hmm. I write in not sure. So whenever they ask me the question, I go, not sure.
Not sure.
And then they had to
yeah.
Oh, okay, sir. And then they asked me the second one. I'm like, I think you know the answer. He's like, I'm not sure.
I think you know the answer.
There you go.
Makes sense.
Not giving away. I have to change that for all of my passwords now.
We explained a lot of our passwords to a lot of accounts.
Yeah.
It's just my bank, so I'm not terribly worried. A couple of loans, a couple of socials, whatever.
If you figure it all out, just look up my property taxes and just click pay, enter in your credit card. Everything will take care of itself.
The funniest email I always get is like 5 minutes after I make a payment on one of my bank cards or Amazon card or whatever. It's like, did you know someone made a payment to your account? This is an alert. I'm always like, just don't even send me that. I mean, honestly, if someone's paying, just
You're
let
losing money.
Yeah. No, I'm gaining money. Someone made a payment.
You made a payment.
Yes.
To your
So you're saying, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if someone else broke into my account and was like, let's pay his loans from an offshore account, like, you know what I mean? We got him. He's going to be so confused. He'll be like, damn you, hackers.
That's exactly why I brought up my property taxes, because they're public and there's no way. They don't even ask you to sign in. There's no like reference.
Really?
You can just look up anyone's property tax and pay.
Anyone can pay it? That's pretty.
Yeah.
Could you mess people doing that? You could probably mess around. I don't know. Let's start paying some property taxes. I want to find the lowest property tax on the entire list and just pay it.
$20.
$18. Yeah. I'll pay
Guy logs in. He's like,
Honey, did you already? She probably did.
Yeah.
She had to.
It's fine. Another segment. A little smirk or a smile. I do have a small one, but it's kind of a dad joke. I was in this giant warehouse that's filled with like home goods. It's not the store home goods, but it's something similar. No, it's called at home, I'll say, because that's very generic anyway, because that could be anywhere. It's not at my home. So it's a giant warehouse. It's filled with like tons of stuff. And in one corner, there's pictures. There's a picture of a horse. And I was walking with my wife, and I go, it's a self-portrait. And she looks at me like, huh? I was like, of me. I'm a stallion. And then she was she was like shaking her head. And then like, I was like, oh, they have you too. And like right next to the horse, they had a picture of a pig.
That's a classic dad move.
Yeah.
There's an old saying, not getting laid tonight anyway. Is that the saying?
Might as well.
Might as well. Woo!
Yeah.
Dads, we're here to have a good time. Good old fun.
Got her good.
That's classic.
Yeah, that was my smile. And smirk, I guess. A little bit of both.
So my girlfriend drives a 2014 Toyota.
Ooh, Land Cruiser?
No.
What's the Land Rover? No.
Whatever the hell it's called. I think
the one above the middle one.
Yeah, it's not the RAV4. It's the one above that.
Okay.
Highlander, thank you.
Highlander. I knew Land was in there somewhere.
So I go to work. She's got to go to work. No big deal. Starts the car, doing kid stuff, getting him into the car. She probably beats him. I think she beats him. Gets him in the car. Everyone's finally in the car. Everything's locked up. She can finally get the hell out of here. She goes to put it in reverse, and it won't get out of park.
Oh.
So she says, this is the weirdest thing ever. She had to. This is crazy. Turns the car off. That's what she thought. She says, I'm out of my mind. Turns it off. Turns it back on. This is easy. You just grab the damn thing and you put it into reverse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Goes. Nope. Not going. Nothing's happening. Before she freaks out, calls everyone she knows, me, the governor, the president of the United States. Yep. She has him on speed though. She Googles it. And apparently underneath where the shifter is.
Shifter, yeah.
Yeah, you can pop it off. All cars have this, I believe. It's a manual override in case something's wrong with the electronics or something, and you need to get your car into neutral. It's like a safety thing. So she Googles, just do this, at least make sure your car's getting into neutral. She takes it off, pops a little screwdriver, hits a little button, and it won't even go into neutral. She's like, that's bad. She just drove this car yesterday, parked it in the driveway. Kid's got to go to daycare. She's got to go to work. This is bizarre. I don't even know. Calls her stepdad. He used to be a mechanic. He lets everyone know 10 times. Calls my brother-in-law. He is a mechanic. Now everyone's involved. I'm finding out about this an hour later. Everyone's converging on the house, like all these people. Everyone who gets there says, "Did you check to make sure it was on?" "Yeah, I checked to make sure it was on." Each one's reaching out. "It's not a transmission lever. Is it a transmission lever? Reach into the transmission. I already checked the transmission. It could be the lever. Did you make sure it's on?" Like everyone's double checking everything 8 times. She's going nuts. She's Googling things. We gave up. Had to call Toyota. It's under some kind of warranty anyway. Doesn't even bring it to my brother-in-law's shop. Whatever. It's on. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She gets a call like 6 hours later. Car's good. It's ready to go. Okay, can someone tell me what? Issue with the lever or something? I don't know. So we go. There was a walnut on the park release lever. I say, "Excuse me?" There was a walnut inside your car, right where the lever goes down. Like it's a mechanical movement. It was just blocked by the walnut. I said, the walnut. Could have been an animal. Put that in there. Could have been an animal. Could have been an animal. What's the total here? Well, diagnostics, everything else. It's gonna be $139.
Oh, fuck, that's an expensive walnut.
Do you still have the walnut? No, we threw it out.
I wanted that.
You should have kept the walnut. We were going to frame it. We were going to make it spray painted gold and call it the golden walnut. I don't know. It would have been a great story.
Be a trophy for the next person who has their car break down. That'd be great. On the side of the highway, someone breaks down, you pull over, and you're like, "Oh, I'm here to save you. Here's the golden walnut." You just hand it to him and then drive off.
I still don't know what happened. I guess a squirrel climbed up in there, dropped a walnut at the exact spot. Because there's not a lot of room to drop things in there, right?
No, but squirrels are habitual. See, you got to watch that squirrel, man.
Well, we know.
Right back there.
Look, next time for the park lever walnut issue. It was funny in the write-up, the computer printout that they do in the shop. It says, there was a walnut over something, and I was like, really? All the people were like, "This is hilarious," and I'm like, "This is expensive."
Why wouldn't they say like it was their fault? Like they shouldn't design a car so you could stick something in that shift lever.
You could say that about anything. I mean, could you stick something between the wheels, like a giant 8-foot pipe that ran across, and it would mess up the car? You're like, why would they do that? Anyone could just stick an 8-foot pipe between the tires and mess it up. Like, you would imagine no one's going to drop the walnut right where it did. So I don't know. Quite a smirk. Funny little squirrel.
Oh.
Anyway, a real funny comment my dad made on Facebook. Shout out my dad.
Oh, ultra dad.
Our post. He said, "Bet you'll think twice when swerving next time you're driving and you see a squirrel." And I was like,
don't think at all.
Exactly. Drive faster. We should no more walnuts. Anyway, check your park lever release thing for a walnut if you're stuck in your driveway.
Pretty serious stuff.
Pretty serious stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How would you react to this scenario?
Please do it.
You're given a pill that will give you all the knowledge in the world, but you also get all the emotions in the world. You take the pill.
I don't think so. Your life's over. I mean, you can't really go back to normal, right?
Probably. Yeah, you would never be able to be surprised by anything.
I think you glow and all of a sudden lights shoot out all your body parts, and I don't think you can really. I mean, you'll never one up that emotion or that intellect or that feeling, so you're kind of on a downslide from there on out, right?
Plus, do you think the average emotion is negative, neutral?
If you're experiencing them all, I don't know that it matters. It's like overload. Like, you can only experience so much pain. I think then it's just like a ridiculous amount that's just blank. It's like your body can't process it.
Now, what if the pill wore off in like 24 hours? You could
I was expecting 5 minutes. Oh my god! This is going on for 24 hours. You're just shooting light out of your body and experiencing all the emotions, all the intellect, everything in the world.
You also levitate into the sky and disappear forever.
I'm saying no. What good can come of it? I mean, afterwards, could you make money and then still be chasing some sort of high that you'll never catch again?
If you really enjoy it, yeah.
Hell, dude, you experience emotions so powerful. They're more powerful than loving your own children, right? So now you're like, so then you're like looking at your child and you're like, Daddy, I did it. And you're like, that's great.
Could have been better.
I've experienced the love of star-crossed lovers who, faced adversity and triumphed over evil and found themselves in the true embrace of God and others. And he's like, I built this for you. And you're like, great. Like, I mean, everything's down from there. It's all faded. I mean, you reach your glowing point there, and everything else is kind of like,
You know that village elder who gets like blown into a wispful pile of leaves that go into the sky, and then like becomes a cloud.
People used to live after that, and you're like, oh, he's still around. You're not gonna chase that high, but you're smart enough not to.
So I got a second one for you, which is sort of similar. Should I give you the second one now, or should I give it later? Good choice.
Give it to me later.
All right, save it for next
My
time.
answer might change over the course of the episode, so give room to breathe here.
Sure.
I had one for you.
Oh, I like these.
This could last a full hour, this one. Or 10 seconds. I have no idea where you're going to go with this.
Let's see.
Let's say you wake up tomorrow, your exact age, which might not make sense. You're in your exact living conditions, which might not make sense. You have all the money, the family, everyone's the same age around you. You have a podcast called the Panders, anything. But you wake up, and without a doubt, everyone around you realizes, and you realize, that the date is September 10th, 2001. What would you do?
Huh. You can't be a crazy person that says there's a bomb, or there's going to be a...
There's going to be a terror attack! Like, what would you do? I mean, can you just...
You could probably save a whole bunch of lives. Like, if you were... The problem is that whatever you do, you're going to be associated with it somehow. They're going to blame you regardless. They blamed an entire country that they had WMDs. I mean, they're not going to blink at blaming one guy.
Shut up and say nothing? Because that's pretty crazy, too.
I mean, you could... If you
one day, so you don't have a lot of time.
If you pull the fire alarm at the Twin Towers, do people all come out?
Wait, I don't even know which airport they took off out of. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know that either. So like you wouldn't be able to figure that out.
You can't Google it, right?
If you could get to the Twin Towers before they hit, then you could pull the fire alarm.
Yes,
and then they hit the buildings, and then whatever evidence that you pulled the fire alarm would be destroyed, right? But people would be out of the building. But it'd be so crazy.
Well, do you have to get a one-day ticket to New York from where you are? Like,
you would.
Is that possible? That's doable, right? You just pay a lot of money.
Drive continuously.
You ain't driving, dude. You're like this. You're like...
Yeah, you get to the building and you'd be like, and then you just slowly slink out of there.
I mean, if someone sees you pull it, don't they just say it's a false alarm, gang. Just tell everyone to go back in, and they're like, you're in big trouble, sir. We're gonna find you, and you're like, you don't understand. Get out. Really, with one day, there's not a lot you can do. Oh my God, unless you bought a gun, and you went to the middle of the building and started shooting wildly, but knew you weren't going to hit anyone. And then they evacuated.
I have a better one. You buy a sniper rifle, you go up on the roof, and you snipe the pilot as he tries to hit the building.
Ooh.
So you have proof that someone was coming.
Now let's also think about that real quick.
I played GTA. It's possible. I've done it before.
Call of Duty. You should see some of the headshots I have. I mean, there's no one you can call that would be able to do anything, right?
Ghostbusters. No, I don't think so.
Could you call the airport if you did know which one it was and be like, super vet these people. I'm telling you, something bad's going to happen. Oh, you could say you were involved in it. I'm turning on them. My guy showed up. You're
going to die anyway. If anyone knows that you're associated with some sort of plot, you're going to be killed. There's no way. You're going to be in Guantanamo. I can't say it. Guantanamo? There you go. I wanted to say an extra syllable.
For the record, you hate 9/11. Is that what you're saying? Or you love it? I can't tell.
For the record, I hate it.
Okay. Let the record show hatred. All right, we'll leave it at that. I mean, we could have went for a whole day, but you know what it reminds me of? 12 Monkeys a little bit. It even involves an airport, right?
I don't remember the plot. That's
remember Bruce Willis steals that girl and they're running to the airport to stop something from happening, and he ends up getting shot at the airport, and he sees himself as a kid getting shot at the airport, but the real person carrying the virus was someone else, and there's a virus, but like him running to the airport and causing commotion actually caused the issue.
Virus breakout.
Yeah. So it's like
I should rewatch that one when I'm not.
It's actually a very good movie. In a bad state of mind.
Yeah, I think I watched it 2 times, but I wasn't fully focused on it. Not
Yeah.
in the mood. I'd say not in the mood.
Not in the mood, yeah.
Gotta get in the mood for it.
Essence was burning already.
Like my wife. Oh. Oh, I'm not bitter. I love my wife. Just gotta balance it out. Keep it neutral.
No, I just balanced my world-class drink. I just put down a little...
I'm slamming it. You need a shock mount, dude.
Ginger soda? I don't care. Let the podcast know. I need business.
Yeah, we're losing money on this podcast. Bare bones.
Just getting over my cold.
Fantastic.
I want to have the best voice possible for our next segment. It's the one. People stop me on the street, and they're covered in blood. No one can even discern what happened to them. Their clothes are tattered. There's blood places. There's liquids everywhere. And people are just screaming, grab me by my shirt in front of my kids. Everyone's screaming. People are stopping their cars, and they're like, it's time. Celebrity Challenge.
Oh.
Jeez, everyone loves it. Honestly, it's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Did you have one?
I actually have one, but you can go ahead.
No, mine was pretty bad.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
mine's pretty simple, actually.
Is it good, though?
I don't know. It depends on... I haven't seen Alyssa Milano in a while. And Christina Applegate. They're both, I don't know what they look like anymore.
I forgot about them both.
Yeah, the limelight is no longer there, but that's okay. What I'm asking for
is there a way to get the limelight back for them?
What's that?
Is there a way to get the limelight back for those two?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe if they thought of the unpanderers and just gave us like a really seductive look with an unpanderers tag, and we'd choose which one was the most seductive.
I can't believe I'm getting picked by both of them.
Blue Steel. The Tigra. Magnum.
Dear God, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Oh.
I just watched that 2 nights ago.
Wow.
Really funny as hell. I haven't seen it in like 4 years. Really, it stands the test of time.
Certainly does.
Really good. 2001, I think, or
it's definitely in high school.
Between 1 and 4, I'm pretty sure, because I looked it up while I was googling. I was surprised by all the people in it. Do you remember the 2 model roommates of his that say like, "Do you think he's heard of styling gel, mekas? Earth to Brent. Of course he's heard of styling gel." And then at the end, they both turn and they're like, "You know what you need? An orange mocha frappuccino." Well, there's 2 of them, right, that say this?
Yeah.
The one on the left is the dude who plays the sexy guy now and everything. He was in True Blood. Eric from True Blood. He's always bare chested. I don't know his name. It's like Skarsgård.
Really? That's the guy?
Oh yeah, look up Skarsgård.
Hold on a second.
It's so funny.
I have to look this up.
Look up Skarsgård, and it's like that's
filmography. Orange mocha. He's the one who says orange mocha frappuccino.
Yeah.
See, 2011, he was mekas.
Mekas.
Who's the other guy then?
I don't know, but there's a ton of people in that movie that no, I guess not. There's a ton of people in that movie. If you just look at the discography, it goes down and on and on. The DJ, he ended up marrying Jennifer Aniston.
What?
Yes, the DJ, the ugly dude with the face
with the
and
finger thing.
Tail. Yeah, if you look at him, he looks like a normal, good-looking dude. It's like that movie was.
The casting. I see Rufus.
Oh, dude, do you remember? Hold on. So I called this when I was watching it. I figured it out without looking it up, and I looked it up to verify. Do you know the girl who's giving him a massage while he's nude and smacking his butt?
Yeah.
She's like hideous. She has like the butt chin, big head. Yeah. She's ridiculously gross looking, and she's going. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
Andy Dick.
Really? That guy's an asshole.
I know, but that's just so funny. I was like, I was looking at it and I was like, that's like Andy Dick, and I was like, oh, he would play a woman smacking his butt with a unibrow and everything.
Olga
Yeah,
masseuse.
Yeah, see?
Man.
There's a lot going on.
I've heard
Will
so many
Ferrell,
terrible stories about Andy Dick. It's just like he just ruined.
He used to go on Jason Ellis's podcast. Good friends of the podcast. Yo, shout out JL. Wolf Knives. We get him. Your teamwork there was terrible. You really good. But anyway, I hear him come on the podcast. He's always trying to be cool with everyone. He's like a Joe Rogan podcast, but like he's more cool, I think.
More cool? Jason, that's impossible. What are you talking about?
It's mess with you. But yeah, Andy Dick like would try and get clean off drugs and everything, and he would come on, and then he'd be like, "Oh, that's cool," and he'd be cool with him for a while. But then he's like, "Why do you do this?" He's like, "Man, F you," and then like got real ugly and weird, and I was like, "That dude's probably got issues, like abuse issues, like not just dickhead stuff."
There was like a reality show where he lived in the back of his ex-wife's yard, and he was in like a little shed, and he's like, "Check out my crib. It's got like a bed and door."
Pretty funny. That's a good bit. You can do that bit, I guess.
Yeah, if it was a bit, he's living in it.
Well, it is a bit, but it's real. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right,
so Alyssa Milano and
what do you want to do?
I just want a sexy, seductive stare.
Sultry?
At the unpander. Sultry, definitely. Add all the sexiness. As much sexiness as you could bring.
Damn. That's worth money. I would donate money to a charity if I saw that.
Oh, definitely.
So
a
much.
Charity for abused women.
So. I mean, sure, yes.
Yeah, sure. No, seriously, we could. We could. I don't know if we will. No, we will.
To a degree.
Got the orphans going there.
Let me give the word of the day here because it may tie into the next theme.
In there? Sure, yeah, we're getting close.
Word of the day, let me make sure I'm saying this correctly, is a swartwooter. Ooh.
A swartwooter? A swartwooter?
Swartwooter.
Smart water?
It sounds like smart water, but it's not. Swartwooter.
Huh.
It's an embezzler who flees. Hurry up, stop him. He's a swartwooter, he is.
Sounds like it's like the origins in like Sweden or
it does sound Swedish, but I'm not sure if it is. I didn't go that far. But, you know, I thought it was a crazy word, and it might apply to our next segment.
Yes, it's recovering scams and conmen.
Holy crap. That's what I was thinking we were going to cover.
Oh, good thing.
Yeah,
where do you want to start, Nick? Which of the many topics would you like to... Oh, there's letters on a paper. I don't know if it had words or not. I can't tell.
There were 13 words on there, so I have 13 words to add to this. Let's go deep.
Ooh, I have a big listing here. I forgot to tell you that I put this all in Asana, which we like to use. I
actually saw it about 20 minutes before I started.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what half of these are.
I also found out Asana is a yoga pose.
Ooh.
So
which one?
Hold on a second. Let's find out. I'm kind of curious because I heard it on a certain podcast that I listen to all the time.
Which one?
The JR.
Joe Rogan podcast. You whisper seductively.
Oh, let's see here. I can't. Why did Google give you tiny images that you have to then blow up and say, Google, this is not acceptable.
Google's blowing up your spot?
Yeah. You can't search it. Oh, there's like so many. Why did they choose a guy as the model? It's strange.
Oh, I like that look on your face. It's so weird. Your joy is mine. Your lack of joy is my joy. I enjoyed the way you look. Beautiful.
I can't tell. There's like a Teasana, a Jinasana, a Bhavasana. The one is like he's standing on one foot with his leg on top of the other knee and going like this. Like it's like a...
Could you do it for the podcast?
I would break myself in some fashion. The easiest one is the Bahasana, which is arms like this, and he's crouching like a frog. Yeah. ankle on knee, and then arm up and arm straight down. Very polar.
Oh, dude, this is like a hip flexor opener right there, baby.
Yeah, kind of. Except the guy's on his toes. He's on his toes. I know what a hip flexor is. I had a roommate who complained about it all the time.
Oh, Jesus Christ, the goalie?
Yeah.
Who's downloaded copies of links of pornography?
Man. Every goalie I've ever known is retired because of hip flexors.
And pornography.
The hip is key for masturbating, so...
I never did a two-hand stop myself from choking, but I just did one right there.
That's hard.
At the record show, that was a two-hand don't choke.
Oh, yes.
The flying hell's floating in my drink.
It's like a bottle of mouthwash when you get down to the end. Oh, that's how you know it's good.
So we made a drink in college called Plaque-Free Pleasure. It was a listerine with a little bit of water and a little bit of vodka.
Oh, no.
The idea was it would get you messed up fast, but also whiten your smile and freshen your breath.
Oh, no.
And this is the real story. So
you're not supposed to swallow that.
Oh, yeah. We did a lot. Freshman year, me and Tom moved right across from the RA, Bret. Bret was terrible RA. I love Bret to this day. He was like, he's like supposed to make sure nobody's drinking, nobody's breaking the rules. And I'm like, oh, we're right across from the RA, dude. Our fun's over. This is awful. Like, our door looks at his door. He's going to be the worst. Well, I was like, hey, Bret, we got mouthwash. Are you going to bust us for drinking that? And the first day, because I was just messing with him, I wanted to test his limits. And he said, I'll give you $1 for every shot of mouthwash you do right here. And I said, are you sure? And I did 7 shots of mouthwash before I started feeling sick. And he literally was going to give me $7. And he was like, listen, I can't get in trouble. And he followed me to the bathroom. He's like, do you have to throw up? And I was like, no, I'm good. Dude. I just feel drunk. He's like, you're probably going to throw up. Don't tell anyone. And he was like really worried he was going to lose his job. And I was like, do you have the $7? And from then on, we had a wonderful relationship. He ended up buying us beer by the end of the year. So
great.
Like, it was sweet. It was a sweet deal.
And you were 18 at the time?
Yeah, whenever you go to college freshman year. 18, 17, 19, somewhere in there.
Like, you don't know.
I have no idea. What also was really funny about Bret, so one of my other roommates, Ben, we'll call him, he had a class. The three of us had class at like 8 a.m., so we would all leave at 7:30. Early, Tuesday, Thursdays, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, Bret, being the goof he was, oh, I'm your RA, but I'm a goof, too. He crouched down behind Ben and went in the hallway one time, and I was like, hey, Ben, and I pushed him, like, jokingly, like I didn't force him. But he happened to be putting his coat on at the time, so he went like this, and he just damaged a nerve in his shoulder, and he started screaming, and we were looking at each other, and he's like, we need an ambulance, and I was like, oh shit, and our RA was like, oh shit, so we had to call 911, and we go to the ER, everything, me, Bret, Ben, and he's like, I'm so sorry, we can drive my car, blah blah blah, great. We get checked out. He missed 3 weeks of school. He had to go home for a week or two. It was a serious issue. So that class that I wake up at 7:30 to go to is a lecture hall.
Mm-hmm.
In that 2 week period, teacher was like, yeah, one of your big 3 exams, 33% of your grade was this week. And he was like, I can't make it. My RA pushed me. He broke my arm.
Yeah.
I have a written note from a doctor. I'm home for a week. And the teacher, I'll say his goddamn name, D. Lorenz, was like, no, you can't do that. And he was like, no, I mean, he just pushed me. He broke my arm. I'll be back. He's like, I don't play funny games. You're getting an F. And he failed the class.
Wow.
Because of this. And he had to retake that credit. And I still, he probably hates Bret, but I hate the teacher.
Wow. It's funny how you tell stories, and I remember 2 things from the stories you told. I know Ben. I met Ben. First time I met him, he's like, we have, Prodigal playing in the next room. He was talking about, what's the name of the band?
Which one?
Yeah. It's a prodigal. It's
Porcupine tree?
Yeah, porcupine tree.
Yeah, prodigal. Yeah.
He's just like trying to sound cool. He's just like, hey, we got it over here. You got, check it out.
But if you were wondering, it's over here.
Hey. But the first time I knew Listerine had alcohol in it, I was like 13. I was over a friend's house, and they said we have to keep this locked up because grandma is a little bit alcoholic. So her grandma would drink Listerine to get a buzz going.
Well, I figured something out when I did those 7 shots and got $7.
Yeah,
I didn't actually throw it, but it's different drunk and it hits you quicker. I guess it's a different kind of alcohol. It's not.
It's probably the sores it makes in your stomach gets right to your bloodstream.
Yeah, it would take so much to destroy you.
Yeah,
but no, like it would make you drunk and then it would wear off like within 10 minutes. It was the weirdest thing. So like you'd be drunk for a little bit, like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and it was like weird. And then all of a sudden you'd be like, I'm good.
You could like time your buzz exactly. Like you're gonna have a 5-minute and 42-second buzz right now as soon as you do this, and it's just like okay, and then you're super drunk for that 5-minute and 42 seconds.
Dude, before work, that'd be great. Well, no, because you'd have to do it like 2 a.m. But assuming before a family event, Thanksgiving or something, that'd be a good one.
Like break the ice, all the icebreakers, just to do the 5-minute buzz.
And then by the time it wears off, you're like, everyone ready to go back to work? You're like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm fine. I didn't do any drugs. Why? But I feel like you get that with drugs more than alcohol, right? Not necessarily
like
smoking.
Forget things, or
No. That you can time something. Like I feel like if you do, I've never done like the microdosing acid they do in Silicon Valley, but I feel like that's got a hard time. Maybe I'm making that up. Anyone who does microdosing acid, post in the comments.
Yeah.
Is there a time thing?
The FBI, CIA, local police. I don't care.
They're really not watching this channel.
Yeah, we don't have that many subscribers.
Or they are. They're the only ones watching. Yeah, we're on them. It's called 9/11. They've gone back in time. They know 9/11.
The other story that you made me pop in my brain is freshman year, like the first 2 weeks. Like sometimes, like my roommate sucked, so I didn't know anybody, and I couldn't be like, "Hey Ben, like, are you decent?
Let's go do something."
Yeah. My guy was literally like on the weekends he'd dress up as a Boy Scout and run a pride, clan, wolf pack. I don't know what they're called.
Like a Cub.
Yeah, Cub Scouts.
Really fun. He dressed up like a Boy Scout, but he did something really nefarious.
No. I wish
he was really doing Boy Scout.
He was still not a good roommate. But so eventually I went out on my own. I went to this party where they had Everclear in a bottle that everyone was sharing. So I got smashed on Everclear. I got so fucked up that the next day I thought it was just the Everclear, but it turns out I got mono from the same thing. And then I missed 2 weeks. Yeah. I missed 2 weeks.
You always know the kids that got mono. Like, you hear about it and you're like, he's got mono? She has mono?
That fucks you up. I don't remember anything from that time period except waking up for like 10-minute periods and go back to sleep. So like you lose like almost 30% of your mass. Like your muscle mass is completely gone. Huh. I also had an asshole teacher I came back to. Literally the day I came back, like we must have had like 20 desks, 20 students. And he's like, oh, let's go all gather the desks around in a circle. And I tried to lift a desk and I couldn't lift it. But I was sitting on the far end. So I had to
show the weakest sex.
Yes. I tried to pull it into the middle. And like the desk was making this horrible screech. It's like, the whole time. And that teacher gave me like I think like a C is like the worst grade I got, but I think he thought I was deliberately doing it to mock him.
To mess his class up.
Yeah. So he
didn't recognize you. Did you guys see who's pulling his hair? He's never had a C before. He's going crazy here. This guy, he's like, teacher had no idea who he's dealing with.
He made me write a paper for everything that I had missed too. Every single book that I didn't read, he made me read it.
Sounds
and
like a real gem.
At least he didn't fail me.
That's true. Yeah, Ben Good fails for getting medically injured by his RA and his friend.
Oh, man.
He did not sue us, so shout out, Ben.
Good job, Ben.
Statute of limitations. You cannot sue us now. I hope he sues us in retrospect for a class that has nothing to do with his life. He's like, I received an F in certain class.
I think that's enforceable.
I don't know. Like, would he be like, I would have a different job now if I had gotten credit for that class? Like, whoa.
It was a story told on the Unpanderers, so I'm going to sue the Unpanderers as a duo.
Yeah, he's going to be like, I'd like the soundtrack to be Prodigal by Porcupine Tree to show Dan, the Unpander, I do am cool. Like, do am cool? Yeah, yes. Yeah. I do am cool.
Let's do scams and conmen. Main topic, now that we had our little tangent there.
Episode's over. Thanks for joining us, folks.
Check us at the top there.
Thousands of scams to go. Let's rattle them off.
Make sure you send us an email with your bank account numbers so that we can just route our own money. That's called phishing. Just send it to us. Don't worry about it. Perfect.
Does phishing always need two parties?
How would you do one party?
That's not hacking. Like, it's not like I can figure your bank account on my own. That's not phishing. Phishing is where
phishing is like you bait a hook and then you have to wait for someone to grab it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The folks don't miss that one. That was called visual call and answer.
And catfishing is not the same as phishing. It's
way sexier.
Yeah, it's where you bait a person into.
That's how I got married.
Hot
folks.
Female. Wow.
Wife.
She wasn't what you thought she was.
He wasn't.
Nope. Big one too. I don't think there used to be a show on MTV, but I think someone got in trouble for that one. If you were in college, there was actually shows that were interesting. I guess it wasn't really that interesting, but they're different.
I'm very confused. I think I missed a sentence.
You never watched Catfish on MTV?
Oh, I occasionally. It wasn't my interesting show. Why? Was it that good?
Well, I don't know if it was that great, but it was always, it was an aspect of life that had just begun, and people were manipulating other people to believe them emotionally, and then they
I imagine
into,
catfishing has been going on as long as you don't have to see a person, right? I mean, mail, email,
Clash of Clans. I was like 12 or 13.
Whoa! Oh, were you supposed to meet?
Yeah, somebody sent like really attractive pictures of like a 12 or 13-year-old, and I'm not going to judge that because it's weird to begin with.
She was smoking.
She was smoking when I was 12 and 13.
Let the record
That's going to be edited out by somebody else.
Smoking hot 13-year-old girl. Hell yeah! Listen, we've all been there, Dan. I'm thinking it. You're just saying it.
And they,
anyway, wait. Do I know this?
It's very no. I don't know if I'd ever told you this.
But hold on. But go ahead.
But like, I never. I never met the person because they said they were in it was actually in Philadelphia, in Norristown.
Really? That's a close by.
Yeah. So it was like, I think that person must have been an older gentleman who's trying to lure me in, obviously.
Sure.
Because like he told me his address and told me to go there. And that
did you have to look up the address?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was like might have been a real place, but it's weird. As I look back as a 12 or 13-year-old, I'm thinking like, my hormones are just starting to blossom, and I'm like really interested in whoever will let me do whatever, So
well, you are at an age where AIM chat rooms, right?
Yeah.
AIM chat rooms when it was like all new. You'd be hopping on the AIM chat room.
Unregulated, the wild west of internet.
No one was there. You could say whatever the hell you wanted. You could hook up with whoever the hell you wanted. Send a hot, sexy JPEG, like as long as it was low file, bit,
Yeah. Let me download it in a day and I'll check you out. Get back to you tomorrow.
Well, think about it. Technology was probably easier to download a random picture than it was to take a picture, upload it to your computer, and then upload it to someone, right? At that low quality, it was easier to take an already existing JPEG. I think. True.
If you already could find it on the internet, you could have a collage of that person. So if you wanted to pretend to be something, it was more. People were more gullible back then too.
Right. Otherwise, you'd have to scan pictures, right? There was no way to just insert a picture in the computer, right? Like, prove that you're real. Okay, I'm taking a picture with a real camera and then scanning it and then uploading it and then sending it to you.
Kodak would print out your picture for you.
You would scan it afterwards.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
think about it. Oh my god. So here, did you ever do not? It sounds creepy saying secret boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. Oh, obviously girlfriend or guys, but like you were in like a conversation relationship with a girl or two.
You mean like an online relationship when you were younger?
Yeah.
I would say yes.
I probably was in like 12 of them looking back, like, but they were all pretty. They were all like real casual, like yeah, I like sports too, or like, man, parents are the worst. You're cool. You talk better than most girls. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the whole conversation. It's like a couple topics. Or did you go crazy? Were you like, man, I would touch that clitoris like it was nothing. Like, you'd be Googling stuff. Yeah. You'd crack open an encyclopedia Encarta and be like, man, I would get to your erogenous zones.
You have to borrow it from your parents first.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, I feel like I had a bunch of them.
Mom, can I use the encyclopedia to look up clitoris?
Here's the thing. Yes, even as a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old, like, I never really even wanted to meet these girls. Like, I never was, like, horned up, like, yeah, I'm going to meet Sarah Chowdown 441. And, like, be like, it was never cool. I was always like, it's an ideal. I like to keep it on the internet, on the screen, and, like, have a fake relationship with it.
I don't know.
Even if it was a girl, like I didn't think it was a guy or whatever, like a 50-year-old man.
I don't know what's worse because now people who do that have like, there's going to be video, there's going to be Twitter, there's going to be people recording everything.
No. Back when we were doing it, I'm saying
like nothing exists from before I was like 18. All that stuff's gone.
Oh, you're saying a record of it?
Yeah, there's no record, so I can't look back at my own chat log and be like, oh God.
Does it exist?
Maybe AOL has that stored somewhere.
Do you right? I have no idea.
I don't even think they had the space to save all the chats that happened.
That's weird. That's crazy to think of all those chats that disappeared. Creeper chats, but also awesome, but also weird. Hold on. Here's the weirdest thought of all. This is a scenario for you.
All right.
You're like a 51-year-old man pretending to be a boy who wants to meet a girl, but you're pretty sure these girls are 51-year-old pervert men, right?
So you have a loophole to get to the similar personality as you.
Well, seriously, they did have FBI plans, right? To try and weed out child molesters. I think they did. This is a real
Chris Hansen. Like you sit down and you're like, I've always wanted to meet you, Chris Hansen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there were FBI agents that would like pretend to be either teenage boys or girls, being like, yeah, I'll meet you, like whatever. Like they're trying to weed it out.
You think they gave him an address, and when they saw that they were actually a 12-year-old boy, they'd be like, oh, boy.
So
and then they get arrested.
Well, here, what if they were chatting with like this kid and thinking it's like a man, and they're trying to capture them in these web of words, and like, I'm gonna get you, pervert. And then they're like, oh, man, she is funny for a pervert. And then like the next day they're like, she's gonna say it again. I love her. She's so funny. And then like whatever. And then like a week later they realize like it was just a 12-year-old girl, and they're like, I don't want to end the conversation. She's so much fun. Like they had like this real link, and they were in love, and they were like, I gotta cut it off now. I got work to do. But seriously, email me.
To the so FBI funny. Agent.
You know what I mean? Like they're having. They really could an FBI agent fall in love with a teenager? Could it happen?
Man, I don't know.
It could happen. I'm gonna write the screenplay.
If only. I mean, maybe they wait 2 years. They're in Alabama.
And they're a senator.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying that?
Yeah. Oh, this is a nostalgic piece because it goes back to the 1990s, too. Wow.
It's a good piece, man. It was a good year. It was a good decade.
Vintage.
I'm gonna write the damn story about the FBI agent that fell in love with a real 12-year-old.
Please read it. Take that story and run with it.
Run the hell with it.
That's what I'm going to post tomorrow on Panders.
So what other scams do you have now that the whole thing's blown wide now?
Yeah. Now that we haven't had a fluid conversation. That's okay. I'm going to go real big, though, here. So there's like... How much? Oh, what are you drinking there? The Blue Sky vodka?
I did have a drinker. That's name brand, so I wouldn't say that's what I'm drinking. I'm saying that's what I was holding earlier.
So the company frauds, like Enron just had they were a stock that was valued at like $90-something, and then a year later down to $1 because they cheated in their accounting deal.
How does that work? How many details do you know about that?
I know that they hired an accounting firm to be like an independent party, but they're manipulating the independent party to tell the wrong facts and hide their debt.
So, okay, so they did have debt. So the real value was closer to $1 than the $90.
Yeah.
So that's
so much debt that it was crushing them.
Really, they told everyone they're worth 90, and they kind of were if you didn't count the debt. And the debt made them worth like closer to $1. So what did all the golden parachute people do? Because we know all the higher ups.
Sure, I think he died, actually. I think he died in prison.
Hell yeah. Score one for I'm seriously so excited. I had no idea he's dead. Folks, announcement from the Unpanners. Kenneth, what? Lay?
He died 2006.
Yo, homie died in 2006 thanks to the Unpanners. We put justice on a stick and we bring it to you. That was my expression.
I'm going to not even look these guys up because they're not even worth our time.
But here's my question.
Sure.
So it's worth $90. We're the top 40 guys that you're talking about. Kenneth Lai, a bunch of other guys. What do? Are they selling their stock that day all at once? And then announcing the company went under? Like, is that how this works?
I assume they're making money all along and they know they're cheating, so they're taking it out as they're cheating. And then when it finally the news comes out that they are cheating, their position is much lower than it would have been. So they would have already made their millions.
So then at that point they say, sorry, our company's not worth anything. We're out. Yeah.
And everyone goes, I didn't know anything. And then it's like, well, we have a paper trail now.
Right.
Figure it out. That's the one it screws over so many people.
Enron was, what year? Did you have a year for that or no?
Oh.
Because it was kind of the first time I ever heard of corporate, fuck-overy. Is that a...
Yeah, that was, it was in Houston.
Was it?
I think it was 2001.
It all happened in 2000. 2001 was a hell of a year, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm looking at another crash come up soon. So, yeah. On that scale, there's another one, like the Fannie Mae, the subprime mortgages. So these are the big ones. Yeah. It's just that they had all those derivative products that were like leveraged, and then they'll have like a multiple that made it like crush them even more, where they had that garbage asset. You wish that subprime asset was the one that was holding your not mortgage, but school loan.
I only understood one word, school loan. That was 2 words. So, I mean,
essentially, they had an asset that was worth nothing, and they pumped it up to make it seem like it was worth a lot.
How do they do that? Just by word of mouth, a fake accounting
proxy. They kept like putting smoke and mirrors until the last thing was like, oh, this is something that's pretty good, and then all these people put money into it, and then when it finally the smoke cleared, everything turned to shit, and they're like, wow.
How do you smoke something? Like I'm not a financial guy, so I don't. Most of our unpers, as I would call them, big fans.
You package and rename it multiple times to make it seem like it's something different than it is, in layman's terms. So,
I understand that, but corporate glass has been rebranded as Failsafe Anonymous, has been rebranded as Branson Incorporated, has been rebranded as
Never fails.
Polyleaf incorporated, and it's worth way more. And like, is that what they're doing? Like, they're just changing name, and and every time they say it, their voice raises a decibel or a key. Yeah. And as you raise a key, you notice it's worth
changes ever so much.
More money.
It's so much better than it was.
How much more money can you have than most money? I don't know. Is that? I mean, I don't.
It's not a different business. It's the same business that's calling it something else. So you're repackaging crappy assets with like a little glimmer of diamond in that pile of shit, and then you shine on the diamond with the next package. And then at each method, yeah, they call it margin. So like at each portion of it, like a smaller percentage of it is actual cash. So like,
but you just focus on the smaller portion. You're just focusing.
Yeah. It's like multiplying $1 by like 100, and then multiplying it by 100 again, and then by that time you have $1,000 invested, and it's only really worth not $1 anymore. It's like 5 cents. So you instead of losing like losing $1 in $1,000 bet, you lose $995. It's like $950. Yeah, and that's exactly what subprime mortgages are.
Really?
Uh-huh.
What's a reverse mortgage?
Is where you get paid to have a mortgage because you're making money off of it.
But is the bank or whoever taking possession?
They're taking interest in whatever you're getting money out of.
Oh, but they don't own any part of your house or anything?
So the reverse mortgage is so you have a certain amount of money in your house. The reverse mortgage takes money out of the money that you have in your house and gives it back to you at a certain interest rate.
Okay, so you're getting your own money but losing interest.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't think that
the Fonz would approve of that.
That's not a scam.
But
that's just leveraging. Yeah, like if you have a different opportunity.
Leveraging your own money, right?
Or you need
I understand. I don't. That's fine. That's fine. So, as far as scams go, we're talking about the big corporate scams. Are there day-to-day scams you want to talk about?
I'm whittling it down. It's getting whittled down.
Holy shit. I can't wait. Did my face get really red? That was bizarre.
Did you read or watch Wolf of Wall Street? Stock fraud?
No.
No? You didn't watch that?
No, I once my kid was born, my life was ruined.
Your memory's lost forever.
He's my subprime mortgage. So prefer to have that.
He's a glowing diamond. A pile of shit.
I love poop.
But Wolf of Wall Street did the same thing where they, like, if you take a stock that's worth $10 and you put all your money into it, it's going to raise a little bit. But the Wolf of Wall Street actually pumped more money into it by advertising to people who didn't know anything and taking their money and then pumping their asset up and then selling.
Way more than it looked like originally. It's going up.
And then they shat on everyone who invested. But they did it in like a Ponzi scheme style so that the people who are actually putting in more money, they'd pay them back with the money that they...
So be quiet money, almost.
Leaning on it. You know what a Ponzi scheme is, right? What's your definition of Ponzi scheme?
What you just said. You invest a lot of money and you fool a bunch of people, and then at some point you start paying back the top people who are helping you. So they say, listen, we're getting money back from this thing. Keep putting money in. And then you start feeding a few people under them, and they're like, listen, everyone's getting money. This is just free money. And they invite so many friggin' people, and you're like, gotta take all that money away. By the way, have a great day.
Yes.
Am I correct, Fish? I have no idea.
The guy's name was actually Ponzi. The first guy.
What? Ponzi?
Yeah.
He did Happy Days. That's incredible.
Ponzi. It's like the 1940s or something.
Are you saying Ponzi or Potsy? Because Potsy was one of Ralphie and Potsy. They were funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And Bernie Madoff, which everyone knows now because he was like, the guy was worth millions of dollars already, and he decided that he needed more millions.
Oh, we saw the TV version, dude. He knew he was effed months before it all actually crashed. So he would similar to what the video you had me watch, he would just spend nights just not sleeping, staring at a blank wall and being like, I'm effing over so many people everyone's so effed. The paper trail will catch up to us. We're so effed. And then he would go back about his daily business. But, like, crazy stuff. You got a little something under your eye.
Let's bring a little human back into this, a little emotion. With the so what I had you watch was Catch Me If You Can, Frank Abagnale.
Catch Me If You Can. Before we start that,
my dad comments.
No, absolutely not. One of my 8 words written down is actually all 8 are from my dad. So shout out my dad. He's made it twice this episode. There's a saying he always has: if you can't dazzle him with brains, baffle him with bullshit. I think that's a great saying. And I'm always like, yo, Dad, that's language. I don't approve of that. My son won't approve of that. You're out of his life forever. And anyway, I disowned my dad. He's not allowed to talk to my kid, talk to me. He's out of my life.
It sounds like you're baffling me with bullshit.
I'm dazzling you with brains. I hope it's working. But go ahead.
Well, he also talked about how he would just like the present day self of Frank Abagnale, which there's if you search YouTube for Frank Abagnale, he talks about, there's Fed Talks 2013. He talks about what actually happened in Catch Me If You Can, which is not
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. He talked about how he stayed up at night and just staring into nothingness, and his kids were like, "What's wrong with you, Dad?" He's like, "I remember what I really missed when I was doing all this crazy scammage." So,
is that what kept him up? He was scamming them as well. Real quick, I watched most of the video.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of it. I was busy.
The beginning is the part that makes more sense, I think. The part that leave out.
Hold on. So when you sent me the video, I saw the end of his talk. The last 3 minutes, I didn't understand it exactly.
Oh, I share it, does it give you the last 3 minutes?
Yes. That's why. Where you shared it. Hold on. It went to the next video, which was him giving a talk in another place.
Oh, yeah?
Now, I couldn't stop it. I was doing dishes or something, and the video was playing or whatever, and I don't have a phone that's fancy enough where I can be like, "Hey, phone, replay that last video from the beginning." It's not that fancy. I have to just say, "I'm doing dishes. I might as well listen." And he gave a different speech, but I imagine it was the exact same speech.
Yeah.
Which made me think, is this part of a scam? I mean, the guy's been scamming his whole life. He was very. There's this thing about him where he's like, "Oh, it's too complete of a message." He's like this. Well, you know what I learned from scamming all these people is you can't scam people. You have to really look inside here. You're scamming yourself. And everyone's like, yeah. And he's like, so anyway, if you could donate to me to give one of these speeches again, I will gladly give this speech again.
He actually can't collect money on his stories.
He doesn't get money from those speeches?
He does. I mean, he might.
He's getting money. He's getting money somewhere.
He's scamming him. He's scamming his story.
And it's a real story. I'm not knocking the story. It's a very good story.
Well, there was research showing that, like, of his aliases that he used, they couldn't figure out in the past whether those aliases actually existed or that they did the scams that he says that they did.
It was too hard. He would like pick up the phone. Right. He would pick up the phone and call Pander.
Pan Am.
What's his name? Pan Am.
Pan American. Wait, is it?
And be like, yeah, it's Pan Am. Pan. Are you saying Pan or Pam? Pan. And he would be like, yeah, we lost our uniform. Nah, I've never had this happen in the wash. Why don't you just get in the wash? I'm in Boston, and we're going to have to fly here from Chicago. It's too far. I'm not going to get in one day. And he would go through his whole spiel, like off bat, and get people to send him a new uniform. And now he had a pilot's uniform. I heard how he got, he faked the pilot's ID because he went to the printer conference. And he was like, is your printer really that good? And they were like, yeah, we're going to do this. And he's like, well, I'm a buyer for Pan Am, and we don't know if you can do this good. And they're like, oh, yeah, we do really good. We do for Pan Am before. He's like, could you do me, like, in an ID? And they were like, oh, we can do anyone in an ID. And he's like, let me see it. And they were like this. And he'd be like, well, this looks like me, but can you forge papers that say I fly airplanes? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like ridiculous. But in the 70s, I guess, I don't know.
It sounds like there was a whole, like, his whole method of scamming people was to fill out a
spiel.
form.
I like to say spiel. It's the only time we can use spiel.
Spiel. I guess it's appropriate.
Spiel.
So his spiel was that he would fill out a form.
On the record show, I started spiel. Nick from the UnP.
I know about spiels. I created them. So he would fill out a form, and the form back then took forever to validate. So like he'd do it with, getting uniforms, getting like IDs. He'd get checks. So he said even like that he would go to the different airlines would cash checks up to $100. So he'd go to each individual airline, each individual hotel, and get the $100 from each one. And by the time he was done, it was 8 hours later, and there was a shift change. So he'd go back again and start again.
Damn, smart.
Yep.
That's called the technology loop, I believe.
Yeah.
I made that term up, but it works. This is interesting. I didn't think we were going here. I didn't want to go here. I didn't need to go here.
Let's delve in.
Holy shit. Folks, this is entirely unplanned. This is entirely unrelated. Holy smokes, folks. This is so weird. This is destined for this podcast. So what's the biggest scam you ever did in your life? I was going to ask you, right?
Me personally?
And not even scam. Like,
I would scam people out of in EverQuest whenever they needed my help. Not whenever. This is occasionally.
You could read the name and know who you were scamming ahead of time.
Yeah. They'd be like, I need you to stay here and kill this one thing while I run over and kill this other guy, and then this thing's going to drop. If it dropped, like a digital item dropped in front of me, and I looked around and they weren't there, I'd pick it up and they'd come back. They'd be like, did it drop? And I'd be like, no. I don't know what happened. I killed the guy. He didn't drop anything.
That's interesting. Son of a gun, I got to do it again. Stand right here while I go do the work again.
Yep.
That's not a big scam.
That's not a big scam. That's not stealing money from people. Just a little time.
So, oddly enough, it's not a scam. The biggest
scam
lie I've ever told? It's a lie. It's so weird. So your bachelor party was in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. The weather was so bad that I couldn't make it.
We were literally underneath your plane as the dot of your phone was hovering above us, and it was torrential downpour and everything was flooding around us.
Everything was flooding like crazy. There were storms going wild. Our plane made the descent to land in New Orleans. I'll say it like that. Like I've been there. I've never been there. I was within range.
You're there.
For my man Dan's bachelor party. And they pulled up at the last second, citing weather issue. And storming and flooding and rain and downpour and crazy conditions. It was wild that night. They thought the whole city was going to flood. They weren't going to land the plane. Everything was going on. They flew us back to Houston, Texas, which you've been there before, right?
I lived there.
It's ironic. So they sent me from your bachelor party back to where you lived to land the plane. When they landed the plane, it was like 10 at night. They did not plan on landing this plane. One of the dudes who I was sitting near was a foreigner. He barely spoke any English. He was from Eastern Europe. I want to say he was Hungarian or something. And he was like, what does this mean? What happened? And I was like, listen, they effed our plane. They effed it up. Whatever. People were panicking. People were like, where do we stay? What's going on? Who's going to pay for it? What's going on? Like, it was chaos. People were going nuts. The airport was trying to close down that night. So certain segments were just black. And there would be no one for a 5-minute walk. And you'd be walking around and be like, is anyone going to help me? Hello, I don't live in the airport. I don't know where I am. Help me. So they gave us this weird number. And they were like, listen, just call this number. And they had to physically write it. So it must have been like a secret number. Get through the bullshit. Here's a real number.
Yeah.
If you call this number, they know you really need help. Dude with the Eastern European thing was like, I know speak the language good. You know what I mean? He was like, I was like, you'll be fine. Let's just call him up. He was like, I'm not good at this. And he looked like a terrorist. Like, if you were to describe a terrorist, Kind of like, but I hung out with him like 3 hours. He seemed like a cool dude. So I made a judgment call. I grabbed his phone and I picked it up and I asked him to spell his name and write the phonetics under it. And he was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "How do you say your goddamn name, dude?" Like I say his name on the podcast. He wrote it down. And I talked to security and they were like, "What's your name, sir?" And I was like, "Honduras Valdinistan." And I said like all these weird words and they're like, "And you're him, sir?" And I was like, "Yeah, I need a place to stay tonight. Give me a free thing and airfare back to so-and-so, New Orleans or whatever." And they were like, "Okay, are you sure?" And like I'd be looking at him and I'd be like, "Good?" He'd be like, "Yeah, give me this." Anyway, I hooked my man up with a free flight, free hotel, free taxi, free everything. And the whole time I was doing it, I was like, "Please don't be a terrorist. Please don't be a bad guy. Please don't be awful." But I was like, he's probably just a normal dude who got sidetracked by the damn weather. And I impersonated someone to the, what's it called? The airplane?
Like, I would say like TSA, but that didn't exist at the time.
Right. No, this is
No, it's recent.
It's like 5 years ago, your bachelor party.
Oh, that was a long time ago. I would say TSA.
Anyway, I totally hooked him up with like a free airport, a free flight, a free whatever. He said he was a grip for a famous movie. I forget which movie now. I looked him up. He was pretty sweet. And then we all got
the grip. The guy who's
works the cameras and stuff and like you know, does movie stuff.
The sound mic.
Right. But like I had to pretend to be him, and then when we got to a hotel, like he ended up at the same free hotel I did. I walked up to the front desk. I was like, I said his name or whatever, and like I need a room. And I hooked him up. I was like, "Here's your kid. You're good, dude." Because like he couldn't speak English good. Like he would have been screwed. Like he would have been sleeping in the airport.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was like, "Don't do anything bad, dude. Just because they're gonna be like." He helped him out, like, you know what I mean? But it was really cool. And, like, he emailed me, like, a year later. It was like, "Thank you, Nick. Everything good. This is my new movie I work on." And it was, like, some movie no one's ever heard of. And I was like, "Right on, brother. Good for you. Boom. I love you." Anyway.
So how does that relate to scams? You felt like you were scamming the TSA by pretending to be somebody else?
I guess. Like, at the time, it was like 9/11 was in my brain, and I was like, what if I'm doing the wrong thing? Like, you know what I mean? Make him talk for himself. But really, I just pretended to be him. I told everyone I was him. I gave his last name, his numbers.
Your scamming is actually a positive scamming, which could be defined as helping somebody. Oh.
I'm a helper, guys.
Yeah. So much nicer than stealing digital goods. So there's a list of all these types of scams, and I want to run through them.
Yeah, let's hit a few. Hold on, I got shorter list. It's only 3. Literally, I said all my numbers.
You want to sprinkle your scams in there as I go?
Yeah, mine are short and easy. No. Lavelle. Ooh, you didn't have Lavelle, did you?
Lavelle?
Yeah, they do Thrive.
Thrive?
They pretend to sell vitamins and shit that makes you healthy.
Oh, all those homeopathic medicines?
Yes. And then, hold on. So there's like a bunch in jewelry now that are really big. They're getting like, everyone's talking about them. Silpada and Celadot? I don't know. Anyway, trust me. Everyone listens like, "Oh, I know them." Scam, pyramid. Trust me. I'm the one who knows. And last one I had written down here, my girlfriend was like, "Pyramid scheme." Yeah. And she named all those places. She's like, "There's like a candle one." And I was like, "Candles?" And she's like,
Sensi's.
Yeah, maybe she couldn't remember the name.
Sensi does that
she's
too.
like, you gotta like buy in and do all this stuff, and it's for candles. I was like, who's got the time to be in a pyramid scam for candles? Like, if you told me, I'd be like, I call me later. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who's got the time?
So much. I mean, it's weird that like the stay-at-home moms get manipulated into these multi-level marketing schemes.
Right, they're the big target, I think. Oh, God, go through your list.
Yeah, anything that does like an ambiance, like the candles make sense. They sell like
it makes sense if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, dad jokes. Oh God. Oh Lordy.
And then my that perfect part. Go back. Anyone who's listening, just turn up the volume. Please tell me. Anyway, guys.
Oh Lord, they do like these two things like lipstick, or like they do like kitchen goods, or like
eggs, chicken eggs. I want to do one of chicken eggs.
Yeah, knives.
Cacao. Come on, say the name, dude.
I don't know. I don't know the names of these things. I'm just gonna call them out.
But then you gotta call anyone out.
Herbalife. Herbalife is like anything that sells.
That's a good one.
They sell inventory to their storefronts, and the people above, like whoever started it, makes money. Whoever is like the second tier, third tier, fourth tier, like it keeps going. Like the people up top make money, pyramid scheme, but the people at the bottom are so they're struggling so hard to sell Herbalife, they never make any money. They're just milking it. The people at the top.
So it's a milk scheme. It's people milking people. It's like human centipede people with milkers, right?
If humans were cows and made of money, yes, indeed.
Is that all?
I'm going to jump over to. I think you'll like the sidewalk scams. I'm going to jump over to this category. So, like, if you're walking in like New Orleans, for example. Some people come up to you and they ask you where you got your shoes. I'll tell you where you got your shoes, and they'll bet you like $5, and they'll say like you'll agree to it, and they'll say, well, where did I get my shoes? But that's not the language that they use. They say, well, you got your shoes on Bourbon Street, like they're standing on Bourbon Street, or you got your shoes on the floor. You got it now. How much more of a drink do you need?
I had to think about that one for a second.
Yeah, because they got them on the ground. That's where you got your shoes.
What if they were levitating? Holy!
There's a thin layer of atoms that makes it so I'm not on the ground, so I'm not going to give you your money.
There are definitely air atoms between, right?
There definitely are. But I don't think someone who doesn't understand the English language that well
is going to understand that well.
Yeah. But the other sidewalk scams I really like too, like the 3-card Monty, where they swap around cards and they say pick the queen.
Whew.
Like they set that up so that the people before, whoever the target is, they're in on the scam. So the people before them can make money, but they're making money to their friend. And they say, now you try it, like the random visitor. And the random visitor feels like he's like part of a
game.
Yeah, game.
A chance.
Yeah. And they'll like swap out the card or make it so like people are hinting at a different card. They'll like sway him to choose the wrong stuff.
Huh.
If you had a crowd of people behind you saying like, "Oh, the middle card,"
right. That's gonna push you. I agree. Huh.
You doing there, Nick? You doing all right there?
Yeah.
You gotta take a break.
No,
Oh, wow, you're what is that for?
You can see that?
I hope that garlic was a drink.
No, I didn't want to. Okay. I don't always do this here at the Unpanners, but certain products drive me wild. Like, they really get my goat. They get me for who I am. They do something for me that's just out of this world, folks. I can't explain it every time. It's not always normal, but it works. Most people swear by that fancy garlic. I think it's called elephant.
Elefante.
Yeah, I thought about $5.99 for a clove. No thanks. So I recently tried a new one. It's called Wise Brand.
10 times more intense.
Well, that's what they say. So I tried Wise Brand garlic. It's 65 cents for a clove. And I thought, it's probably not that special. This is it.
Elefante.
65 cents, folks. It's not. I didn't buy it thinking I would change the world. I didn't think anything of it. It's the supermarket brand. Wise Supermarket. No big deal. On my way home, all the lights turned green. No big deal. Whatever. I had to stop at a gas station, right? You do the credit card thing, and then you put the pump in and try and remember when you're getting close to 20, 30, 40, whatever bucks. I turned around, it clicked off at $20.00. Didn't think anything of it. Just bought the garlic. So then I get inside and I'm going to Start this chicken meal where I rub a little garlic, a little Italian herbs with seasons on them. I said I better turn the oven to 375. The oven turned itself on to 375 degrees. And I thought, holy shit. It's getting a little weird, right? A little weird. Maybe it's the Wise brand. So I'm walking the dog. This is about an hour and a half ago. It's getting dusk. It's twilight. I can barely see everything. Walking down the street. I didn't realize I had the garlic in my pocket. I don't get into why it's in my pocket. I'm a little strange. Before I cook, I need to do a few things. All my neighbors, including the ones I haven't even met yet, they're all standing outside their house. Quiet. So I'm walking the dog. Walking. He lifts his leggy peas. Neighbors don't even say anything. They're not even looking at me. They're just staring straight ahead. I'm thinking, did I miss something? Is there a memo? What's going on? I keep walking. As soon as I walk by each one, they start shouting the true name of God. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, this is bizarre. This got me thinking. And the glowing thing in my pocket, it's the garlic, dude. Oh, shit. Dan, I can't hear you.
Huh.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, okay.
Did you turn a mute or something?
No. I got really intrigued and silent.
I think you did. Anyway, if you get a chance to go by Wise Markets, buy Wise garlic over the other brands. It's really doing a number for me. So, shout out. Product plug tonight. This bad boy might be going to my rectum later. We'll see.
Clean it out.
The garlic?
Yeah. If you put garlic under your bed at night, then it absorbs all the negative spirits.
Is that true?
All the negative spirits in your anus will get sucked out by that garlic.
Is that true?
You got to pull real hard, though.
Is that true?
They do the same thing with onions. So if you do onions and garlic, that's a good mix for a beef stew, but it'll be in your anus. Yes. Seeing which one of these do I want to hit? I do the hard hitting ones, the fresh ones. So the one digital scam that I have on here. There's an app that was called I Am Rich. Have you heard about this one?
No, I saw that in the notes. Asana.
It was just an app that you could buy for $1,000 that would then give you a little emblem that could show off how rich you were because you spent $1,000 on the app. It didn't do anything. Where did it show up? Like Facebook or like on your texts? I don't even know. The only thing I saw was a picture of like a little it's almost like one of those No Man's Sky diamonds. Oh yeah, it's nice there. I guess you would show that to people to show how much of an asshole you were. No, that's the thing with that kind of emblem. You kind of have to accidentally show it to everyone. I'm sorry. This is me. I didn't. $1,000 on an emblem. I didn't want to show you. It just kind of happened one day. I was drunk and I had money, so I just bought it. I apologize. Got to use it everywhere now. They took that app off because it didn't actually functionally help anybody. But the developer probably made a boatload of money off of stupid people paying $1,000 for it. I'm sure he did. Weird. There's a lot of scams out there. There are. Have you been sucked into a timeshare? No, my parents were and almost couldn't get out of it at all for like years and years. Like years and years. Oh, yeah. They get you in a room and they try to make you feel guilty and they have everyone else like into it. You know what they did? What's that? Advertise on Facebook how cool it was. Threw up some fake pictures. Hold on. Talk to this couple. We're like, well, we could sell it to you. I mean, it's crazy good. And they bought it. But now there's like Exit Timeshare, timeshareexit.com. There's like companies that do this. Get you out of the bullshit. Yeah, you're going to use this for 1 week a year, and no, you won't. Well, did you hear the fee? The fees would go up every year. So the fee for owning your $300 timeshare was up to like $1,700 a year. Then it was like $2,100 a year. You're like, it'd be like $2,800 a year. You're like, fine print. Excuse me. That's ridiculous. I can't believe people. I mean, it's obvious why people get sucked into them, but why people continue to I guess if you do it for a couple of years and then they sucker you into these gigantic fees, you're just like, keep going and going and going. So there's actually people associated with these con men. I try to fly through these people. It was like, yeah, Robert Hendy Freegard. I'm sure he turned up in your searches.
He did. I was going to bring him up. You did first.
Okay, I'll jump right into it then. He was an MI5.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, he would say that he needed, I guess, not like a co-star, but a co-agent for these women, and he would tell them that this is kind of the funny part, that he would tell the women that they'd have to prove themselves to be an agent. So he'd make them like sleep on park benches for a night.
That's awesome. Shot at MI5.
Yeah,
that's pretty badass.
That's dark, man. The creepy part is that he, like, I guess there's nothing technically wrong with it other than he was promising them that it would be a secret agent. He would also do like this is the negative downside, is that he would do physical stuff.
He was a bad guy.
Yeah, he'd get
sexual harassment a little bit.
Yeah, sexual harassing them. He'd trick them into doing stuff because they thought they were going to be agents, but that's their own fault, really. Who believes they're going to be a secret agent? Yeah, it's tough. It's icky. Yeah,
I'm not a fan.
Just send me a seductive look, Alyssa Milano and Christina Applegate. I'm not going to make you a secret agent. I'll tell you that right now. Let me see. Who else we got? Ooh. I already mentioned my Frank. This is why I want you to sprinkle. I was going to mention sprinkle because you're right there. Something happened.
I'm getting stuffier as we go on the episode because I can't blow my nose. But
you need to cut it short?
No, because we're nearing the end. I'm going to power the hell goddamn through. If my voice sounds thicker and mucusier, that's God. Who took Carson Wentz's ACL? Thanks God.
I'll cut it short for you.
Good. I apologize.
What I realized is that I think this topic stemmed from a movie that I saw when I didn't even realize it. So it was subliminal, subconsciously. The movie Focus. Yeah.
I saw the beginning and the end. No, I know. I saw the beginning and the end, and there's a race car driver, but I didn't.
Margot Robbie can jump into the seductive look if she wants to.
Oh, yeah. She can jump into my race car bed. Yeah. I'm an adult, folks.
That could be a... Yep. Okay.
Yeah. All right, I can do it.
Okay.
Finish the episode. I'm trying to snort back the snot in my face.
Tell me what he did. What did he do? He didn't do it, did he?
So the Hooge. He's in a little bit of hot water, folks. We all love him. He listens to the podcast. He's one of my best friends. I try and tell him right from wrong. I try and tell him what to do. So he goes to a party. It's called, excuse my language, Big Dick Bastards. It's a BDSM group. They all meet. His girlfriend's cool with it. Like, listen, they're both cool with it. They're both adults. They can do whatever the hell they want. It's a bondage group. They do a lot of bondage. You can walk around, do your thing.
Huh.
He goes there. He's a sub. I hate to give away his position. He likes to be tied up. No.
Submissive.
He's a submissive. He likes to be tied up from his elbows and his wrists. It's called, they call them bowers because of their elbows and wrists. I don't get too deep into the community. He was talking to another bower, her elbows, her wrists, and she was eating some of the hors d'oeuvres. They hand out hors d'oeuvres.
Oh,
she started choking.
Oh, no.
She's literally choking. She's like not joke choking, like whatever, but both of them don't have their hands or arms. She's choking. She doesn't know what to do. She falls on her knees. He doesn't know what to do because he can't use his hands or arms either. She lunges for his wiener. He pops it out of his pants. 40 seconds where everyone turns. What's going on? This is insane. Like, this is everyone's attention over here. What's going on? She's trying to dislodge the food from her throat. Like, this is a life or death situation, not a joke. We're not trying to make light of it. So 40 seconds, Dan's got his arms behind his back, and he's humping like a stallion. I'll give him credit. I told him not to go to this party. She died, folks. I'm trying not to get too into it, but the family is now suing the whole estate. They're suing my friend the Hooge for having too tiny of a dick. They just wish it was bigger. It would have saved her life. I try not to tell jokes on here. I think it's terrible. But if his penis was just a little bigger, they probably would have just lodged the food. She'd be alive right now. And just to emphasize, the name of the party was Big Dick BDSM Party. So she's suing for $900,000. The Hooch doesn't have that kind of money, but I don't know where right is and where wrong is. And we hope the best for all parties involved. Let's see on panders, folks. If only he were a little bigger.
It's sad.
And we don't know. I'm not saying she would have lived. I'm just saying the family's suing. It's of note. Anyway, we're done. Whew, got that ugly business out of the way.
In court, they're going to have to prove how big of a dick
I know. Here's the thing. He has to execute his most erotic material to the judge, and then they'll measure. So I said anime, Sailor Moon. That gets him harder than anything. I mean, if that doesn't do it, not the judge.
Yeah, it just needs waifu.
Mm-hmm. Little pillow action. Judge, if it ain't happening for that, it's not happening. Shout out to the family involved. Ugly business. A lot of bowers. She just be into regular BDSM for this elbow stuff.
Surprised no one else came to our assistance.
You know.
Maybe he was the best option at the time.
I think it's because they were both bowers. You know what I mean? Elbows back. Maybe there were more bowers around. I don't know. There is good news as far as our socials. Dan, Sally47 Patriot wrote this on Twitter. We wrote episode 21 drops. See how you like rulers or not so good rulers. Sally wrote, and I quote, LOL, no way, maybe we can have some fun, winky face, click the link in my profile. I'm just saying. I think we get more followers every day, and with this kind of action, folks, we got girlfriends, we're married, we're not doing anything. I'm just saying. We could, you know what I mean?
No.
You know what I mean?
I wish I could know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
But you should, yeah. We appreciate everything you do for us, Sally.
Patriot. She had an American flag in her background. She was smoking. I don't even know how old she was, but older than 13. I know you said you're like 13-year-old or whatever.
Was she riding a stallion? Oh.
She was, but it was a picture of you in Pottery Barn or whatever earlier.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Folks, the circle can't come any fuller. We have socials. Go to them. Click on them. Be a part of them. Don't tell your friends. Do tell your friends. Don't tell your family. Do tell your family. It's this weird thing where you're part of us. You're not part of us. You want to sue us. You don't want to sue us.
Yeah, if you've ever watched The Abyss and the tentacle monster starts clicking on every link,
it's
please, water tentacle monster.
Folks, we like that. Damn it.
A lot.
Unpanders.com.
Thanks for listening.